So we'll go on with Alain Thillay from the European Commission, and I just would like to mention that he was the first hand to create this project. He had the idea at the very beginning, and he helped. He was, it was a time where we were not talking so much about AI, so he was really innovative. And well, we just need then to follow all the work already made at the very beginning. So thanks for that. And now, let you.
Thank you. It's a great honor and a real pleasure to be here today and to open this final conference of this Erasmus Plus project. As we have think about it a few years ago, I will say it. Just to be clear also, I'm now working at the Digital Education Unit in DGIAC and the European Commission as a seconding national expert. So thanks also for my head of unit who cannot attend this meeting, and he allows me to speak about this project, because as we say this morning, I'm not a minister, I'm not an interim director, but I'm an SNE, and in general, SNEs are not allowed to speak for the Commission. So I also need to say that I'm not involved into the unit that will have to work on your results. So I'm not about assessing the project this morning. So it needs to be clear also. So we've come, what I can say, it's that we've come a long way since this AI40 project was initiated within a Delta working group meeting in a PLA in Ljubljana in 2019. We were discussing of the premise of AI in education or AI for education. And it was a time where some were hesitant at the time. They saw that it was too early stage. And I think that they were probably right and wrong. And I would like to say something here. Maybe today, even with the ChatGPT buzz, as we saw, some of the teachers, some of the staff leaders, and I can notice the result from the French staff, schools, leaders, it seems to be low, but also we know that the context and the overload and many things are coming up, and the context also is very important, and for the policymakers, as we know at the European level as well as the member states, as you know also that member states have the full competencies about education and all of those applications that can facilitate the work and to also allow to use properly the tools that now are more and more present rather than we expected at the beginning of the project. We can see also that after the pandemic, we had the pandemic also during this project. So as I think that it was also something difficult for all of us as well. But willy-nilly, educators, students, parents reconsider their perceptions and their practices. But I also hear from the previous point that yes, we were talking a lot. We talk a lot about AI, and we were just thinking about raising awareness at the beginning, at the starting point. And now it seems probably, but maybe we will discuss this, that we don't have to think too much about the why we have to do, but how we have to do, how to implement. And the implementation was the idea that I have in mind at this stage, but you know that there is a lot of work. The AI topic is more and more important into the policies. And as you know, at EU level, there is a lot of policies that are made, and we are now at the end of the process to adopt the AI Act, which is a very complicated text, as we have also with the GDPR. So we have different texts, and we need also probably to think about it, about this text, because you have the AI Act, you will have the Data Act, you have the DMA, DAC, GDPR, so many things. So maybe we will have to reflect on how it impacts education concretely. And I have to distinguish a little bit, and I don't want to bore the teachers, because I know, and I was a teacher previously. I'm coming from history and geography. So I know that, and it seems that we ask for concrete tools, concrete actions directly, and that we can put it, but you need also to think about how we need to organize the whole system, the education systems, and how each of the stakeholders, which means policymakers, which means staff, leaders at school, teachers, students, and also all the stakeholders and providers that we hear from, the EdTech or the EdPub or the third parties that are providing the tools and the content based on AI. So I think this is something that you need to reflect, and it's part of the professional development of the staff, schools, and the teachers, even if it's not directly put into that. We probably also what is the education strategy, the European strategy, sorry, about AI. It's broader than education. Education is part of that. So we need also probably to have a look and not to let only AI for research purposes, academic research purposes, only for development of AI dealing with healthcare industry, even if it can lead to the vet sector. It's important for the vet sector. But we need also to prioritize this AI in education and for education at all levels. So it means that the curricula, the exams needs to be reconsidered probably. And many of us are thinking that we are now probably, it's not about disrupting necessarily, but evolving evolving quickly some of the curriculums and exams and the ways that we teach and learn. Probably we have the same question that we had for a long time with the digital education. There is not, sometimes we can say there is nothing new here. We have the same questions. What we need to teach, to learn, to assess, how we need to teach, to learn, to assess. And this is a big and huge problem. This is why at the European level, we try with the member states, and we agreed with the member states last November. We adopted the two council recommendations, and I can just ask you to have a look at these recommendations. One is on the key enabling factors for successful digital education and training. And the others is on improving the provision of digital skills and education and training. And they are linked directly with the Digital Education Action Plan that we made for 2021 to 2027. And we are now thinking with the next Erasmus Plus, etc. So the programs are also coming. So every suggestion and your results are very important here to feed what we need to do, what we need to anticipate, what at EU level and in the member states, as it was said just before, we need to anticipate for the next 5 to 10 years. So that's the role of the policymakers, to provide some guidance on that and to have the necessary investment. So I will share my presentation in two parts. Just to remind, I would like first to have a step back with this project. So maybe we can I don't know where I have to change the slide. Thanks. This is, yes, this is usually where we start in 2020, 2018. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. So, yes, we just started in 2018 with many questions about raising awareness and where were the challenges and the opportunities, and many questions, I guess. And we knew that chatbot, bots, everything, large language models were there, but they were not open to everyone. So we knew that there was something that came, that would came and could change the way we teach, learn, and assess. We started at EU level with, we not started from nowhere, and we proposed the first work that we've done was to propose into the Digital Education Action Plan an action that could raise this awareness and propose some ethical guidelines or guidelines on ethical use of AI and data in teaching and learning for educators. It was the work of an expert group during more than 1 year, and 21 to 22, and it was delivered in October 22, just before the birth of ChatGPT. It doesn't mean that you will not find something that is not related to this predictive, the predictive results that we can obtain with AI, with intelligence tutors or bots, etc. We started not from nowhere, because the European strategy on AI is built since 2018, and also in different countries, just like in France. We know that we have a lot done here. We use and combine different parts, and in particular, we use the trustworthy AI, the results of the high-level expert group that prepared some guidelines and some elements rather for the developers and the industry rather than for teachers. But we have some requirements here that we use into these guidelines, not to combine and to reinvent the wheel and to combine with many other requirements. Because there is one danger, one risk here, probably, is that every country, every DG or ministry, sorry, could provide their own guidelines, their own focus, their own requirements, and at the end, what we hear from citizens as well as teachers, it depends on the field you are working on, it's that how is it coherent and how I can use it and how I can find something very useful and very concrete, something that we have to work now. I guess this is the main focus, and if there is other action or a follow-up of this project, I would encourage you to have this in mind. We also use the DishComp and the revision of the DishComp Edu 2.2, even if it's for citizens, it's not the DishComp Edu, but it's related with AI competencies and examples, but always coming from the top and going through, and then with concrete exercise, but you have to adapt it. And at the end, also, maybe it's another thing that I want to say this morning, is that we have, as teacher, if I put as a teacher or as staff or policymakers, we have to imagine something that we can scale through different levels, and we can also adapt. So the modularity of many things that we are doing now, it's important to have the same framework, the core framework, and then to let also adapt, and also we try to reduce, for the European Commission, it's important to reduce the gaps between the schools, between the countries, between the way that they can improve digital education. But it's also normal that we have some different trends. It means we have to have the good balance in everything at the end. So we also used, and this is the search engine bars that you have at the Erasmus project. And it's important to have a look sometime at the basis of those projects who are supported. This is, you will not find those who were rejected, but you have here, and with the key word AI, that's amazing. You have more than 600 projects. So you have also to deal and to fill in, and then just to analyze which ones are very, very focused directly on AI and AI in education. And I can say that probably we have at this stage 40 to 50 that are really, really important. And yes, the AI 40 as a key three. Sorry for to enter into the program, but everyone knows the key one with the mobility of the students, the teachers, etc., etc. The key two about partnerships is not necessarily well known, and I can say that in 22, after the guidelines, we also provide, we made a priority on AI in the Looking Forward project, which offers the possibility to have projects developed by EdTech as well as researchers, as well as schools. So it can combine, and more, this is what we try to do. We try and we need to have all the stakeholders involved and committed in the projects and the policies at the starting point as soon as possible, just to have these discussions and to have, even if we don't, we will probably disagree on many things, but we need to have in mind that we need to work together. And after that, yes, we need to choose as policymakers. So the forward-looking project this way, it increased. I think that we selected quite 20 projects that are dealing with AI in 22. So results by 2025. That means as usual. So yes, there are ongoing projects, ongoing results, and also something very important for us, and probably also to improve for the Commission, is how to better use the results of those projects and to share those results. So it's important also that the AI4T by itself can share and can spread the results, even if we will be, yes, maybe we will have something to say or to analyze or just to be cautious, in the policy track, we are very cautious sometimes, but because we saw some elements during the previous presentation, I would like to react or to have questions on that. But yes, for sure, you have to explain your results, just like you have to explain and reflect if you use some generative AI to prepare your work. So we will see about that. What came in 2022 and after that, and 2022 to 2024? Maybe, and we can say that the generative AI was very, very maybe we can say disruptive. Okay. If not disruptive, we know that it was a worldwide burst, and also opening the tools to everyone means that the teachers tried. They tried what they can do. They also discovered that their students tried a lot. And also we have all of these discussions about cheating. We have some not useful discussions sometimes on cheating, etc., etc. We were talking this morning about, yes, we did the same with the printed version when we go to the libraries and we have a look at some translations of Latin, for example, if I can, je peux avouer ce matin. There is prescription now from my grades. But yes, we have to do like that. And also, even as policy maker, I evolve my mind of some projects that were proposed maybe 2 to 3 years ago about using generative AI to help students to create their own text. Oh, I was saying create or generate first part. And then also I was thinking, when we are working on how to write something as the manner of Shakespeare, as the manner of this author, what are we doing? So using this type of tools could be interesting, but we need to reflect. And there were many reflections in different countries and at EU level, and also in many international organizations. I will say a word on that. And at this stage, I just presented 2 of them. And sometimes it was also about principles and how, so it was starting point. I think that now, and I will hear from you, all the questions we have, all the good questions we have, even if we do not have all the answers, but what we can build on to improve the digital education with or without AI. So this is the last one is the Netherlands, and also just to have, in French we say un clin d'œil. I will tell to my colleagues that I will enjoy to meet them at the next PLE in March in Netherlands, which will be dedicated for the Delta Group to AI and also data privacy. So we will see what we can achieve out of this. Yes, we have a lot of discussions and a lot of very interesting papers or guidelines here from the international organization, and thanks also to some of the others that are in the room. We have the guidance, some guidance or some guardrails to deal with generative AI in education and research. And that's important also to make it generative AI in education and research, and also to think about how researchers, academics, but also those who come from applied research, coming from those who are the providers of the tools, services, and content based on AI, we need to work together. And yes, it's useful to have all of those guidance, this guidance. We will see if this guidance can be translated into requirements. And then also, as they have to respect the legal basis, we talk about GDPR, but with the AI Act, there is a lot of things that we will have to deal with, and we will see how to proceed. So that's important, all of this. And probably I can say that we didn't revise the guidelines. We knew when we published the ethical guidelines that we were too generic, probably, and not enough concrete. And we faced the same issue that the AI project, if I can say, because what is surprising me this morning, and this is maybe a comment, it's that, yes, you have and you face what I didn't imagine, because when we started, we have some tools in France, you mentioned Quick and others for primary and not for secondary, but we have some tools that we can, that the teachers could take into account. And it was also part of the ministries to deal with the companies, just to give for free to test if it's relevant or not. So we cannot réécrire l'histoire, but now I think that there are more and more tools, which concerns me a little bit, and we will have to think about facing this issue, is the way that school leaders, when they were unconfident, they say that they don't want their teachers to participate. And then we have backdoors. Teachers use backdoors to do that. And we have a lot of not experimentation, a lot of experiences, fragmented experiences. You can only read the different papers or proposals into the social media. We are following, everyone is following everyone in this room. So I know that, and we have interesting papers, interesting reflections on how to use now, not why, but how to use properly those tools. That's important to say that this is the new part. So we didn't, we participated to the discussion at the European Commission, and the Digital Education Unit participated to these discussions, and we also put it in the global approach with those two council recommendations. And for sure, we will have, because we will review the Digital Education Action Plan. We are at the midterm, and as usual at the midterm, we have an evaluation of what works, what we have done, and what we need to do next. And what we need to do next, yes, what we need to do next, I think that we'll have a lot to do related to this agreement and the adoption of this text and the implementation that comes with this text, because, you know, at this stage, I would just make you aware that even if we are focusing on AI in education and for education, as there are also decisions that are related to investments for the large language models, for example, each country is developing one. The European Commission is also proposing to support one. So it seems to me that we have a lot to do, and this is very important also, even if it was struggling at the starting point, that you are 5 countries, and also with others, because we missed Spain at the beginning. Spain and Portugal wanted to join, but we were too many at the same time. And the evaluators was telling me, oh, we cannot do that. It's too hard to have so many countries at the same time. And yes, it was challenging. And FOE also, I'm very grateful for the work that you've done, because it was very, very important to coordinate all of those people that are very kind, but also that can have strong opinions. And I know that, and it's important also to have these strong opinions and these discussions to make it better. So yes, I think that we will have many things to think about, and also sometimes you will see we can have some challenges, because it could be, as usual, it could be, and it's for policymakers rather than for the teachers now. We can think that the regulation could be done at the top level for everything. It's transversal. And then also some decision will be taken by, for technical reasons, for investment reasons, for industrial reasons, for also the competitiveness and the sovereignty. You know, these words are always using, and we try to make it at European level, combining Europe and member states in the same hands. And it's very important to decide together and to make it feasible. But saying that, it means also that all the sectors need to reflect what they have to do, and they have to, yes, to commit to be very, very active, to just say, for our sectors, it's important also not to forget that, for example, we say AI in education. Okay, and I say, and because Wayne, you told that many times, AI for education. It's not only in education, and also it's about education and AI. You have also to reverse the words. So education purposes, but if you say education purposes first, don't misunderstand me. It doesn't mean that, yes, we need to be on a corridor and then we will see what happens. No, you have to think about what it can change, really, what quickly or slowly. And we know that this is evolution or transformation. This is the better word that Michael Alice like to talk about. And then we will have to reflect on that. And here, as I said, education is part of this landscape. And it's not, if policymakers in education don't work directly and don't take it into account. And that was the fact that when I saw the result from the French staff leaders, I was thinking, yes, they are overloaded. The context was not good enough when they're done. And also they have too many things, they say, and teachers said also, we have too many things. Policymakers said, we have too many things to think about or to do and to deal with. Yeah, but at the end, the AI and the technologies are speeding, and we have to reflect because we have to act and not react. That's the main purpose. Now, coming from the role of the teachers, for sure, we started also in the guidelines with the way that we can empower them, and building on many papers and research papers, and again and again, we can say, and thanks to Wayne and other researchers, because we build on this AI supporting the students, the teachers, etc. So you wrote papers many times ago on that, and it was very inspiring for us and for the expert group that worked in this project. Because yes, at the if you remind, in 2021, we were again and again thinking about where it is useful, where it does exist, because the awareness were not that. And we tried to have this this part that we can explain, that we can make it more concrete, even if at the end we didn't advertise for tools or for companies. So that's also something important to say. Even we didn't advertise for universities that are providing some or in cultural institutions, because each time you are doing this, you need to be cautious as policymakers. We cannot say, yes, cannot say directly we are, this tool is relevant or not. In particular, because this is with the competencies, the development of the professional competencies of the teachers, of the staff, of each of us, with the digital literacy or AI literacy that we need to improve and improve again. And don't forget that everyone needs to consider by himself, is it relevant or not? And if you are working for public institutions, is it aligned with the legal, with the objective, with the purposes that we need to reach? That's very important also to work like that. So we try to do that, and also, which is very important, is the fact that we supported a lot of projects into the Erasmus+, but also into the Horizon program. We know that at the European level, we have different programs, different way to support and to fund the project. And this is important to say that, yes, all of those are project. If you type the name into the Erasmus+ basis, you will find the project, and you will find also the geographical basis of the project. This is important. You know, at EU level, we tried also to have countries from all the Europe, all the member states that can reach and work together on that. So different projects that are very interesting to follow up. So just at this stage, you will have a description of the project. We have a description of the project, and we don't have, which is also something difficult, because even when you will give the final version for the assessment by the Commission, the result will be produced and published probably 6 months after. So that's something that it's not great, but you can use the fact that you have the references of all the participants and you have their deliverables as you did with the website of the AI14. And it's important here to say that we can do this. And also, you can have a look at other programs that are more dedicated to the developers or to the industry, as we have in the Horizon program, Horizon Europe program. And here I found this project that could be very useful because, you know, yes, we have what do we need to teach and learn about and how we need to assess with AI. Okay, this is important. But also we have this AI for citizens and linked to the parents, linked to the citizens, and linked to the disinformation. And with the generative AI, this is a new step to struggle. And I can also mention the other guidelines that were published in October 2022 about disinformation. We published two guidelines at this stage. Important projects, and also we have this type of projects. So I guess that, no, sorry, Bastien, ça va me relancer, je suis désolé. I need to wait. And you hear from a voice interrupting me just before.
Sorry, Alain, I have to interrupt you.
Why? Why?
Just heard that the AI4T textbook 2.0 is at last released. Today, I believe it comes in the 5 languages of the consortium: Slovene, German, Italian, French, and English.
Yeah, but and why not Albanian, Polish, Gaelic while you're at it?
Good point. We want those too.
Yes, it's an important topic for teachers, isn't it?
I understand it contains a new chapter all about me. I mean about generative AI.
Yes, important. But why are you so interested in it?
Also some videos and contributions by several of those present in the room.
And how do you know what they are in the room?
I seem to have picked up this competence on the way. But don't worry. Human in the loop and all that.
Right. But can you go away now? I have to finish my presentation.
Okay. But I will be back. And don't forget to look at the textbook. Available on ai4t.eu. Bye.
Yeah, I hope that you will not be interrupted by such AI bots when you are teaching your students or when you are discussing in a meeting as policymakers. But we can imagine something like that. It was for fun, but also it was to mention that, yes, for us, it's very important also to have those MOOC and e-textbook, open e-textbook that can provide in different languages and in all languages. As we said, when I said about the guidelines, I presented the guidelines, the EU guidelines in English, but we always try to translate it in all languages. And also we are now, usually we are working with the countries from the Western Balkans and from Ukraine, from all of those who are probably, they can join us as soon as we can do it. So this is important. And also those materials, I think that we have more and more materials and we need also to be cautious when we use it on how to describe it properly, how to make it searchable. So it's also about the dissemination for the project. It's very important because we also have those, and probably I can tell that I mentioned your project to my colleagues from the European platform for teachers, and this platform was the ESEP platform. And we had webinars last year, and I would like to just focus on the webinar that Florian Nuxo, a German teacher and researchers, gave about AI in foreign languages, and he also presented the tools. So maybe just to reflect something concrete, he proposed the tools, and he introduced his presentation with a video. He record the video in his own languages, and then use the tools that, with the movement of the lips, he had the translation, and he could have his own presentation in different languages. So it was very impressive at the beginning, but for what purpose? For what purpose? So yes, then he moved to the purposes and why we need, which exercise could be useful. So it's very, very important at all the time we are coming back to this. First, which is the purpose? Which type of AI could solve what I want to achieve? Which types of digital content and services could help? And is it relevant when I really, really practice with it? Sometimes it could be very relevant, sometimes not. In the same discipline, it's not about French or language, foreign language versus mathematics. And you say that, I guess, this morning with the result, there is no evidence of the difference between the teachers, depending the fields they teach. So we have this. He has a part of ethics, but it was very, very short. Why? Because for sure he used some tools, and he proposed some tools that were not compliant with some regulations. And this is the back door that we talk about. It does exist, so we need, as policymakers, to enable, to facilitate, to frame what we can do without dealing with the creativity and all what they want to do. So yes, trustworthy and innovation. This is the two words that the strategy of AI, the coordinated plan of AI for Europe, is based on. So we have this. We have also other type of documents that are important to have a look at. This is documents that are the goals and the way that we can think about how we can produce knowledge with AI, and also research. So here, I will not enter into the details, but I will say a few words after that about this briefing and this paper that you can have a look at if you don't have done yet. Colleagues from RTD published a paper on AI in science, and it is not AI, just like for education, sorry, it's not AI in science, it's AI for science, for doing science, with many, many questions that it builds. I will let my colleague from the GRC, she will present probably part of this work tomorrow. We have also another way to propose all the stakeholders to join, and it's not if you have the ESEP platform or the e-twinning projects, you know quite well because you are in education, but it's dedicated to teachers and staff in education. Here, the Digital Education Hub is part of the Digital Education Action Plan, and we had a squad, and many thanks. I think that Lydia is in she was the leader of the squad. And they produce in a short time, in 6 months, because the squads need to publish in the 6 months, coming from different perspectives and profiles. They delivered what they can say with the literature that they know, with the experiences that they know. They deliver some papers. There are 7 articles of 20 pages each. So it just gives some elements. And in the Digital Education Hub, you have also open channels, and one of those are dedicated to AI, and it's very active. So I can invite you to subscribe to this hub, and then to participate. This is another way. This is a way leading in the field, coming up with the topics. We are not choosing all the topics. It comes also from the decision from the participants. So they propose, and then we choose the call. We select the calls and the topics for the year. I didn't remember for 2024 which are the topics, but it's interesting. You can have providers, some also industries, some universities, so coming from different angles for the common good and discussions, not to advertise their own position, of course. And then we have also this part with the guidance. We didn't publish, but we published just an executive summary of the report on which the guideline was based on. And I can tell you that I'm always thinking about this graphics coming from the work that Inge Molenaar in the Netherlands is working on with the Thillay Institute also. And it's about, I think, it reminds me that when I started to work at the French ministry to propose the digital education content for teachers and students, we have always beginners. We have some people who are in the middle that they want to improve, and we have also front runners that we are running after them, but not too much because they can scare everyone. But this is important. And here about automation and what we decide to let and to think about what AI could be, how AI could be used. Automation and decision, we cannot let it to the machine. This is clear. But we know that with some quizzes, with some questions, we can automate something that could be very useful. So I think that, yes, we saw some mapping of where, in which areas we can do it, which experiences can prove that. But there is also a lot of work to do here, just to go through and to provide those examples and concrete examples that I can say to you. I regret that we didn't do it during for the guidelines, but we tried to do it. And another way, maybe it's the next steps for me, and I am just finishing. And we have this digital education content study with the state of play that we published last September. We said a few words about that because probably we will set up an expert group on that to deliver something else. But for sure, when we came to the new technologies as AI, VR, etc., it relates not only new challenges and opportunities about the way you can use. It's about also producing and choosing and selecting the content. So it's related on how teachers could be involved since the co-design. As you said, we need to have teachers involved and staff involved and educators involved as soon as possible. So I think that the next step, because we see now some companies proposing the tools just to split your content and then propose the activities. So it comes to new challenges because also we have in mind these new activities. Is it good for the purpose, for the education purpose? Is it something that will standardize every exercise, and then we will have exercise for exercise, tool for tool, AI for AI? So we need to reflect on that, and this is very important. So I will finish on this note. The challenges, we have a lot of opportunities. We have new questions and challenges. in particular about how we will produce the knowledge, how we will produce science. And this was why I put this paper, because in my mind, this is very challenging, because even the researchers are thinking about, yes, we need also to be sure. Yes, it could be useful to have a look and to have the review in the data, in the projects, to have new ways to, okay, we know that, but we need to be more explicit, and we need also to avoid the impact that it could have, even if I will be optimistic rather than critical here, because I think that we need not to let also the US or the China or other parts of the world saying what we have to do, and then we will have no possibility to act, that we will have to react. And we know that reacting is not the best way to deal with these technologies, and also with the necessity for the education systems to evolve or transform. That's the final word, and I would like to say that I really appreciate the work that was done by the project and the colleagues in the project and all the participants in this project, and I'm very, very pleased to see all the results and to understand and to hear from you and to report, because coming back, I will have this exercise in the EU Commission. We have this exercise every time we participate to a meeting, etc. We have this flash report to do, and I will be concise, but it will be important. It's important also to advertise and to disseminate your results after the end. And sure, if there is a follow-up, we will have a look at with very, very good interest. So I can encourage you to think about it, and also maybe to have other partners. Just feel free. Thanks a lot. I don't know if yes, I can take some question if people.
So yeah, we will have some 2 or 3 questions, I guess, if you have, and then we're doing a coffee break until 12, and then we have policy recommendations after 12. So if there is any questions in the room, we'll have it check. Yeah, I see. Maybe I will take a second mic. So.
And sorry, I was longer than I thought, but I was also deviating from my paper, as you can understand. And I try to be concrete as much as I can.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. I was wondering if you may have some insights on why there's such a big emphasis on privacy and data, but not so much on IP. Is it foreseen to have similar awareness raising measures on IP in AI for teachers? Thank you.
Yeah, I can tell you that my colleagues from the cultural unit, they are dealing with this part, and also related to the digital education content that I mentioned. It's coming back. It's part of the criteria that we need to take into account when we have to say, yes, it's important. And the debate on generative AI or using the content and from everyone, not only from the publishers, but we know that the publishers are the one who are in front of the fight here. Yes, for sure, we are discussing this and we are working on that with the EU EPO also, you know, this agency from the European Commission or linked to the European Commission. They have also some very, very practical guidelines and explanation just to make people aware of what we say. And also something that I can say, it's more and more, and you face this this issue into the AI 40 project as well. We face it in the study for the content. Everywhere, it seems to me that we need also to develop a real understanding and a shared and common vocabulary, just to be sure that we talk about the same thing, and we cannot interpret too much in different ways. So that's important also. So, yes, this is a topic that is coming up, I can tell you.
Okay, merci.
We take 2 more questions, one over there and the third one.
Well, thank you very much. Fantastic presentation. I was quite impressed, a little bit surprised with the point about strategic importance of trustworthiness that you have highlighted within EU. To me, this is a little bit surprising because I would expect a lot more interest and strategic focus on trust rather than trustworthiness. To me, these are related but very different concepts, because trustworthiness is, from the developer's point of view, what you can do to create something that is worthy of trust, which does not really mean that people will actually trust in it. So trust, an emphasis on trust, would highlight a lot more human-centered, a lot more subject-centered perspective. So I would very much appreciate if you could comment on why you think that the focus is on trustworthiness rather than trust.
I think that trustworthiness is a way also at EU level, and it depends on the way if we have the competencies on the regulation or not. So that's probably the first reason why we use this word. And also it came from, maybe it's also a legacy from the high-level expert group that worked in 2018. And you know, in policy making, we are just cautious not to change a lot. So yes, for sure. And at the end, the question that everyone is asking himself is, can I trust it? So it means also that you will need to have those requirements and to share those requirements. And the requirements, you can make it just to be taken by companies, universities, every institution or personal that can use it, can adapt, can interpret, and at the end, it's not mandatory. If it's mandatory, it goes through regulation, and it's mandatory, it needs also to be, just like I said, to let some part to adapt and to be, yes. So it's working with a global framework, proposing a global framework, and then for some points, maybe we need to make it mandatory and go through regulation. But also, if you go to regulation, to have the trust, and you can say, yes, we can evaluate this point and this point. I think that we will not be able to evaluate every point. And it's the same that you, it's related to your question, your previous question about what we can evaluate really and compare. And with the study on digital education content, we faced this. We have a look at different education systems, how they deal with the requirements and the quality criteria that they have to choose or to produce. And there are a lot of differences. I cannot say that one is better than another, but we think that we have something to do here, and we will work on that this year, and we hope to deliver something by mid 2025. So.
Thank you. Not so far away, thank you. Denis Vellens, NTLC Luxembourg. I have a question combining your last slide and one of the first slides you showed, where you showed the pyramid of the risks concerning the users of AI products. My question, does it, so you showed the unacceptable risks, high risks, limited risks, and lower risks.
This is about the, oh, sorry.
Okay, now, my question, does there a short, You have to ask
I will-
ChatGPT to show it. Yes. Okay. Okay. Does there exist a list of risks, for example, of high risks, of uses of products, etc.? Because as I know, on the EU level from the Commission and Parliament, you show the results of the commitments they have there. They talk also about the list of these risks. Thank you.
Yeah, now at this stage, what I can say is there are those discussions at transversal level with the AI Act. And yes, for example, we know and we have the indication that education and training could be high risk, but it depends on the way it will impact your career, your choice for the orientation, for example, etc., etc. So we don't have at this stage the list, and it will also depend on the level of impact, because the Parliament, the Council, and the European Commission agree on the organization of the bodies to evaluate the risk on AI, and it depends. What I understood at this stage, and also we are learning as well, maybe I cannot say that as a representative of the European Commission, but we are learning step by step, and we will discover with the final text, because we need also to have the final text at the end to have the cases that we can think about and the list that we can provide to be sure. And it will depend, and it will be evaluated at national level or at European level, depending on the importance of the companies and the impacts that it leads. So at this stage, I'm not comfortable to answer your question. I honestly, I will say that. What I can say is that when I was in my previous job in France, I was participating to the AI interministerial strategy. And I was saying that for education, for example, I'm always wondering if you use some AI tool just to reflect on what are you missing for your training, but it's your own decision, and it's to have an advice, and probably using some data that you don't remember or don't have conscience of that. It's not the tool that is at risk. It's rather than if you make it mandatory, then if I make it mandatory and I say you have to do this and this training, or you will not have evolution in your career. Maybe it could be this type of risk that is that we need to avoid.